Hello, I'm Stephen Hurley, and welcome to Signals from the Edge, the program that looks for small signs of change in the way that we're thinking about schools and what's happening inside them. You know, for a long time now, it's been difficult to find conversations about living and learning in the 21st century that have not been tinted, if not colored, with the hues and shades of technology. Whether it's increased access to hardware, new apps and software programs, or special courses in digital citizenship, stronger partnerships between the world of technology and education are being built right across the country and indeed around the world. But what happens when the technology on which teachers and students are becoming increasingly dependent falters and in some cases fails? And what happens when distribution of that technology is, well, less than equitable? For many schools, it's a call to the district help center or a trip to the recycling depot. But for Andrew Doby and his grade 6 students at Centennial Sr Public School in Brampton, Ontario, the response is just a little bit different. Check that. The response is substantially different and usually begins with the phrase, "We'll fix that." Centennial Sr Public School is one of 3 regional programs in science and technology offered by the Peel District School Board. It's a program that uses science as a lens for organizing the entire curriculum and offering students powerful, hands-on, minds-on, integrated learning experiences. In this 3-year middle school program, students become active inquirers, problem solvers, and global thinkers. For Andrew and his students, this approach to learning, coupled with a heartfelt commitment to the United Nations Millennium Development Goals, has led to a very unique program known as Tech Stewardship. This year, these grade 6 students have taken on the role of computer technicians, software specialists, and instructors. The vision? Technology that works. Technology that enables powerful learning opportunities, and technology that is accessible to all students, not only at Centennial, but in other parts of the district, in other parts of the country. Join me as I meet some of the grade 6 tech stewards at Centennial Public School.
They're young adults. They come in and they set themselves up. Good morning, happy, and very busy from the get-go.
I arrived a little after 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, and although I was expected, the students were much too busy to let my presence slow them down. It was clear that everyone had a job to do and a role to play in the program. What is your name?
Shraddha. I usually go to rooms, and if there's any problems, I usually fix the actual problem there is in the room. Or I might we have a storage room, and there we re-image. We give some PCs or monitors to other schools for re-image. We recently did Mountain Ash with Mountain Ash Public School, and for that we had like maybe about 10 monitors and PCs to give out to that school. Right now we're focusing on Chrome OS or Ubuntu, so yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
That's software.
Yeah.
Oh, it's software. And what does that software allow you to do?
That software makes the PCs faster, and like, you know how we fix computers? That software will either make the PCs faster or the Wi-Fi might work better with that software. I do something called tech support, where I go into classrooms that we installed computers in, and we teach them teach them Google Docs or something related to a G Suite product, and so they will know how to use devices. They're not just there laying there.
My name is Sarah. What I do here is I check the computers after they're done once they're re-imaged, and I'll check if they're working, if the Wi-Fi is working, and just check to make sure there's nothing left to do and make sure it's all good, and report it to Harini to tell her, okay, this is what's going on in this room. That's what I do.
And so Harini's kind of in charge of the whole flow of things, is she?
Yeah, she's in charge. She has a good mindset of what is going on here, what's going on here. She knows what's going on. She's good with this tech.
My name's Kushi. I really enjoy tech stewardship and tech support that me and Mahi are working on. So we are helping other kids with other Google apps, let's say Google Forms and Google Classroom, which they don't know about. Yeah, we did 4 classes already, and we're working on the 5th one. We're making a Kahoot game so they can enjoy and learn something new.
My name is Arshia. So Mr. Dobie gave me edit access to a sheet where I have to update how many computers are re-imaged, how many are on Wi-Fi, and
How does that help in the tech stewardship program?
it keeps us organized so that we don't check the room again. We do check it once a while to see if there's any problems, but it keeps us organized. It helped me collaborate more since I used to be a really shy person in grade 5, and now I feel like I'm not that shy anymore.
And what is your name?
Rajan, I'm usually the one adding Wi-Fi to all the computers, so they have access to the internet.
And how do you do that? Is that a card or is that a chip?
It's basically programming using the sudo app.
And so a computer that doesn't have Wi-Fi, you can actually allow it to have Wi-Fi? How do you do that?
Well, so we have long antennas, USBs, and we download the driver and we replace them with minis, and then attach Wi-Fi.
And what is your name?
Custom. Usually I go around to different rooms checking if they have Wi-Fi or not. We go back and report to the person that updates a chart based on how many computers have Wi-Fi or if they don't have Wi-Fi.
Has there ever been a day where every computer in the school has worked?
I'm not really sure about that. Maybe there's always some that have some kind of problem, and we fix them. But I don't think there's ever been a day where they all work. I don't think so.
Yeah, that's interesting. Other than computer skills, what is one thing that you've learned this year?
Well, I learned a lot of working together, because whenever we do anything with the computers, we always work together, and I get to know other people better that I usually don't work with, and I work with them well.
I speak sometimes when I'm doing some direct instruction, but a lot of the time they're talking and they're moving between groups and learning from each other and checking to make sure that what they think they understand actually does make sense by looking for patterns of ideas coming from different people.
My name is Ariz. So normally I just wait for one of the leaders of tech stewardship to tell me to go to this room to re-image this computer with a different operating system.
And what's the biggest challenge you've had technologically this year?
It's probably sometimes Wi-Fi. It just stops working, and then you have to like Veer said, you have to type in code and put in some kind of USB to make it work.
My name is Joshua. Since recently, what we started doing is re-imaging the computers first, then taking them to the classroom. So what we're doing right now is troubleshooting some computers that don't work. Some computers that don't have Wi-Fi, some computers that are wrong image, and stuff like that.
So how does it get a wrong image?
Sometimes when it's image, the keyboard and the mouse might not work, so you would have to reinstall the image or even install a different OS.
So that's different than rebooting it.
Yeah.
Someone once said that most computer problems can be fixed by just restarting. Is that true?
It's true for most things, but some re-images, it's not like that.
Interesting. What is your name?
Yataret. So when there's problems, we try to do it another way, or we do something else to solve it. Either Wi-Fi is not connecting, or the VGA is not connecting.
What is your name, sir?
Sine. I install drivers and I do Wi-Fi for computers to make sure they can connect to the internet.
Are there computers here that have never been connected to the internet before?
Yeah, and most of the time that's the hardest computer to install Wi-Fi on, because it's completely new, and it's harder because normally we've done it before on computers, but these computers that we haven't done it on, they're most likely old and they're new to us, so we don't know what to do.
As you can see, students have a sense of purpose. They have a sense of role and even a sense of specialization and specialty. So I asked teacher Andrew Dobie to remember how this vision for his students began to take shape in his mind and the mind of his class. And as you'll hear, it was a kind of shared awakening.
We got our donations and we started trying to reimage some of the computers, and they weren't working. They were beeping and different lights were going off and nobody knew what to do, and I had no idea. But then one student scrutinized what the computer was doing, and she looked at the different light patterns and listened to the beeping and said, you know what, the lights are different colors and the beeping pattern is repetitive. So I helped with those ideas, and I went online and started searching, and we found a fix. We had to open up the computers and we started doing hardware repair, and it worked. And this is because of the grade 6 students' observations. It had nothing to do with me. I was just taking her ideas and trying to go with them, and she became a hero of our class as far as, all right, we can fix this, we can make it work, and it took us a step further. Her name is Hurley, and she's still one of the tech leaders in our class.
Interestingly enough, while many of the roads for the wisdom and organization behind this program seem to point back to this one student, Hurley, she herself is very reluctant to accept the glory and the crown of hero.
No, me and Jazdor. We did it together. There were a bunch of beeping computers and we couldn't figure out how to do it. Then we searched up how to do it and we figured it out.
Well, the tower, it wouldn't stop beeping, and so it wouldn't work properly. And so then we searched it up on YouTube, because YouTube is usually the best source. We found a video that explained everything, and so we followed the video and we got it to work.
So despite Hurley's insistence that her hero status be shared with others, it's clear that she is the go-to person in the Tech Stewardship program. Clearly, though, she sees herself as part of a team.
When we start Tech Stewardship, every time I give out roles for everyone, and then they go, and then they come back if they need to do their job, and then they can also say if anything's wrong happened, and then we can go send someone else to go help.
So what are you doing right now?
I'm looking at our spreadsheet. Here we have all the information. We're trying to collect information on which rooms need imaging, which ones need Wi-Fi, which ones are beepers. And then once we figure out all the information, we send people to a room.
So are you like the logistics person? You're the master control?
Not really. I can't edit this. I can only comment. The person who's in charge of editing everything is somewhere else.
And your name is?
Chid. So in Tech Stewardship, I usually check the classrooms if all the CPUs are working fine, and also work in storage, and then help out with Wi-Fi and everything. The most exciting is reimaging computers and seeing other kids expand their learning. When they're able to access internet, so they'll be learning more stuff through internet, and they'll be expanding their learning.
My name is Aryan.
And what is your role in the Tech Stewardship program?
Well, I go around to classes and make sure all the hardware is set up properly so that the wires don't get tangled up, and it's easier for all the imagers to image. When the wires get tangled and an imager is trying to put a USB in the computer to image, well, what happens is there's a chance of the wires going everywhere and snapping the USB off the CPU.
Sir, what is your name?
Ishan. I would be in storage imaging the CPUs, or...
Can you say that again? Because I don't think I understood that. What is that?
I would be in storage down there where all the components, everything are, and I would be there to image the CPUs.
So what does it mean to image a CPU?
You would have a USB with either Ubuntu, Kub Linux, or Chrome, and there's different processes to image the CPU. And just in case there's a tower swap anywhere, like we need to change the CPU, there's in storage they're ready to be changed.
What is your name?
Akshayan. I just do service checks, so basically just check all the rooms and see what happens if anything's wrong, and then report that back to Harini.
My name's Herman. Whenever there's a beeping tower, I normally fix them in storage room, so I help with beeping towers. That indicates to me that there's something wrong with the computer, like the battery or the hoppers are placed somewhere wrong and where they're not supposed to be. How that happens is sometimes when you're picking up the computers or placing them, sometimes you shake them and the hoppers are small so they can fall out.
What is your name?
Asha. Well, in Tech Stewardship, I go to storage and I usually image the computer, so it takes less time for our classmates to do do it in the other room. Instead of throwing out unused computers, we just take a USB that has some software downloaded on it, and with all of the plugs and cables that we need, we build it up onto the desktop and the monitor, and then we'd start imaging it.
What is your name?
Kathleen. I'm a tech support leader. So basically what we do is we go around to classrooms and we send a Google form so that we can go and teach them how to use all the devices on Chrome. And we've already installed computers there, so we just teach them how to use Chrome stuff. We've done 4 classrooms. And for instance, we've taught them Google Calendar, Google Form. We're about to teach them Google Form. So basically, when we go there, we're trying to teach them, and we had to quiz them on it too. And then we go back there, after a few weeks, to see if they actually learned something. I feel like I've learned about that I can actually teach students. That makes me happy. That I can help people, because I feel like I've never gotten an opportunity ever to do something this big.
What is your name?
I'm Shelly.
And what is your role in tech stewardship?
I service check, and I go to different classrooms and see if the computers are working, if they're on Wi-Fi, and yeah.
So you work with some of those guys over there?
No, I'm not the Wi-Fi person. I check the computers if they're working, and we kind of label the computers based on what needs to be done. So some people are specified on Wi-Fi and some people are specified on re-imaging computers. So we just label them, and other people come and fix them. So.
Your name again?
Mahi. I go to different classrooms and I find out what they're using the computers for, and sometimes I found that classes weren't using it for anything. So I decide that I'm going to talk to their teacher and fix a date for when I can go in and teach them about Google software, for example, Google Docs. And I teach them cool tricks that you can do, and I tie it to what they're learning in class. So it's not so teachers think that I'm doing it related to their work. And I send a form to the teacher so I know when I'm gonna go, when I can go in, when they can tell me that, okay, you can come in, you can teach my students for that one period. And I take a group of students with me. At the beginning, we were all fixing computers, but then I thought of this idea. I thought that maybe the students are not fully using the devices and we're just installing them, but we want to install them for education. We want them to use it for education. So what if we went into their classrooms to teach them? And so I thought that would help as well.
Sure.
Oh, I'm Gunver Singh Desi.
What is your role in the tech stewardship program?
I'm imaging in the storage, and I'm checking all beepers as well.
What's a beeper?
A beeper is when it's a tower, and if it doesn't work, it starts beeping. So I go through that, and then me and my partner Ishan, we check it, and then we fix it.
So this is about stewardship, and you're spending a lot of time fixing computers that many people would throw out.
Yes.
Right? So what message are you giving to people, not only in your school, but also right across the country?
That if you guys don't need it, we could fix it, and we've actually fixed a lot so far, and it's actually coming in pretty handy.
And my students are more than willing and would love to receive more donations. But again, you don't have to donate or give it to us. You can fix it yourself. Yes, everybody can do it. My imagination has been with me the entire time, and I wake up with dreams of how things could change.
Well, one thing is clear. The school experience has definitely changed for the 26 students in Andrew Doby's grade 6 class, and it could change for others as well. If you're interested in learning more about Andrew and his program, check him out on Twitter at @A_Doby11. That's A_DOBBIE11. Or visit the Centennial Sr Public School website in the Peel District School Board in Ontario. My sincere thanks to Andrew and his students for the very warm welcome they gave me when I visited their school. And thank you for joining us on this episode of Signals of Change. I'm Stephen Hurley, and you're listening to VoicEd Radio, changing the way you talk about education in Canada. Your voice is right here.